Most first-time visitors to Japan spend between $150 to $250 per day on the Golden Route. They book hotels next to famous landmarks, pay full price for train passes they do not need, and somehow miss the free observation deck that is 5 minutes from the busiest train station in the country. By the end of the trip, what should have been a budget adventure quietly becomes a very expensive one. The Golden Route connects Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. It is Japan's most traveled tourist circuit, and when you know the right moves, it is one of the most affordable trips in Asia. Neon Tokyo by night, 1,000 vermilion gates climbing a forested mountain in Kyoto, takoyaki sizzling on an Osaka street corner at midnight, all of it for half of what most tourists spend. Most people waste hundreds of dollars on this trip. You will not. The Holy Trinity. The Golden Route follows the path of the old Tokaido Road that connected Kyoto and Tokyo during the Edo period. Today, it means three cities at its core: Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. Tokyo is the megacity. 14 million people, more Michelin-starred restaurants than any city on Earth, and neighborhoods so different from each other that walking 15 minutes in any direction feels like entering a new world. Kyoto is the soul, Japan's imperial capital for over 1,000 years. Ancient temples, bamboo forests, geisha districts, and a pace of life completely at odds with Tokyo. Osaka is the appetite, Japan's food capital, the loudest city on the route, and the cheapest of the three to be based in. The Golden Route works for budget travelers for two reasons. Japan's public transit is so good that you almost never need a taxi, and most of what makes all three cities special costs absolutely nothing. You just need to know what to skip and what to seek out. Flights, trains, and the JR Pass myth. From North America, the low-cost carrier Zip Air, owned by Japan Airlines, offers long-haul routes from Los Angeles to Tokyo Narita with fares that can come in well under $400 one way. From the UK and Europe, watch ANA and JAL seasonal sales or connect via Korean Air or Singapore Airlines. Travelers from Australia have Jetstar and Scoot as reliable options on the Narita and Kansai routes. Here's the flight booking move that saves money and a full travel day. Fly into Tokyo and fly home out of Osaka. An open-jaw ticket like this often costs the same as a standard round trip to one city, and you land in Tokyo, work south through Kyoto and Osaka, and depart from Kansai International Airport. No backtracking. Book 3 to 5 months out. Japan flight prices rise sharply in the final 6 weeks before departure. Now, the decision that will shape more of your budget than almost anything else: the JR Pass. For years, the Japan Rail Pass was a near automatic purchase for anyone doing this route. Not anymore. In October 2023, the price jumped significantly. A 7-day pass now costs 50,000 yen, roughly $330. Meanwhile, a single Shinkansen from Tokyo to Osaka costs around 14,000 yen. Do the route both ways, and you're already at 28,000 yen on that one corridor alone. For a simple Tokyo to Kyoto to Osaka trip without major side journeys, individual tickets usually come out cheaper. The JR Pass makes sense when you're adding Hiroshima, making multiple long-distance trips, or traveling for 14 days or more. For the standard Golden Route, run the math first. Most blog posts still tell you to buy it without checking the numbers. Do not be that traveler. For the most budget-conscious option between cities, there's the overnight highway coach. Services like Willer Express run overnight buses between Tokyo and Osaka or Kyoto, with tickets starting around 3,000 to 8,000 yen, depending on seat type and booking date. You board in the evening, sleep, and arrive the next morning ready to explore. Not as fast as the Shinkansen, but roughly one-third the price and with a free night's accommodation built in. Modern coaches come with reclining seats, Wi-Fi, USB charging ports, and curtained privacy on the premium options. One thing that's non-negotiable regardless of how you move between cities, get an IC card at the airport on arrival. Suica covers Tokyo and most major cities. Ikoka covers Osaka, Kyoto, and the Kansai region. Both work at convenience stores, vending machines, and across nearly every urban transit network in Japan. Without one, you're queuing to buy individual tickets for every train ride and almost certainly overpaying each time. Load it up, tap in and tap out, never think about fares again. Sleep cheap, sleep well. 3 accommodation types define budget Japan, and knowing when to use each one is half the game. Capsule hotels, Japan's signature contribution to budget accommodation, and considerably better than most people expect. Your own private pod with a light, power outlet, and often a small TV screen. Shared bathrooms, secure lockers, and in many cases, a communal sauna included. Prices run 3,000 to 5,500 yen per night, roughly $20 to $40. The first capsule hotel opened in Osaka in 1979, and Japan has been refining the concept ever since. They are small, yes, but they are also cleaner and more central than budget hotel rooms in Europe at twice the price. Hostels, the social option. Japanese hostels run to the same standard of cleanliness as everything else in the country. A dormitory bed costs between 3,000 and 8,000 yen depending on city and season, often with common spaces, other travelers, and a cheap or free breakfast included. Budget business hotels. Private room, near a major train station, no surprises. Chains like Toyoko Inn and Dormy Inn charge 5,500 to 10,000 yen a night. Dormy Inn properties often include a communal hot spring bath at no extra cost. No frills, no regrets. Now, here is the single smartest accommodation decision on the entire Golden Route. Use Osaka as your base for Kyoto. Kyoto is more expensive to sleep in, and Osaka is only about 30 minutes away by the Keihan or Hankyu Express train at around 560 yen each way. You can spend a full day in Kyoto, eat your way through Nishiki Market, hike Fushimi Inari until your legs give out, and be back in Osaka in time for dinner. You save on 1 or 2 nights of accommodation and gain the cheapest city on the route for eating. That combination is very difficult to beat. One quick tip. Anything marketed as steps from a famous landmark carries a premium that has nothing to do with quality. Move 2 train stops out and rates drop noticeably. Before we get into each city, if you have not subscribed yet, now is a good time. More Japan content coming, and the full linked itinerary is in the description. Tokyo, secretly free. Tokyo has a reputation for being expensive. The skyline is extraordinary, the restaurants are legendary, and everything feels polished and premium. Then you actually start walking around and realize that a significant portion of its best experiences cost absolutely nothing. Shibuya Crossing is free. You stand on the pavement as the lights change and 5 streams of people from 5 directions cross simultaneously. Chaotic and mesmerizing. 0 yen. Watch from street level or find a spot above the scramble for the overhead angle. Sensoji Temple in Asakusa, Tokyo's oldest Buddhist temple, is free to visit. The Nakamise shopping street leading up to it is worth a browse even if you spend nothing. The surrounding neighborhood feels like a different century from Shibuya. Takeshita Street in Harajuku is free and unlike anywhere else on earth. Bold fashion, improbable food, concentrated teenage energy. Walk it once and you will understand a piece of Tokyo that no amount of reading captures. For a panoramic city view, skip the Tokyo Skytree's 2,100 yen ticket. take the elevator to the free observation deck on the 45th floor of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building in Shinjuku instead. It opens most evenings, costs nothing, and on a clear day, you can see Mount Fuji from it. That is 2,100 yen saved. Go spend it on ramen. Shinjuku's Golden Gai is a maze of narrow alleyways packed with tiny bars, each seating 8 or 10 people, each with its own personality. You do not have to drink. Just walking through it at night is worth the trip to Shinjuku on its own. For food, lean into the convenience store culture. Japanese konbini, which means 7-Eleven, Lawson, and Family Mart, are a legitimate food experience with no real equivalent elsewhere in the world. Onigiri rice balls from around 130 yen, full hot meals for 500 to 700 yen. The quality is remarkable at every price point, and after 7 p.m., many items get discounted as the day ends. Beyond konbini, standing ramen bars charge 800 to 1,200 yen for a bowl that will stop you mid-bite. Gyudon chains like Yoshinoya and Sukiya serve beef bowl sets for around 500 yen. The Depachika, the basement food halls of department stores like Isetan or Takashima, are free to walk through and sell premium prepared foods. Go in the evening for the discounts. Kyoto, mostly free. Kyoto is where the trip shifts gear entirely. The energy drops, the history comes to the surface, and the visual quality of almost everything around you goes several levels. It is also the city most likely to drain your budget if you follow the tourist flow without thinking. Most of what makes Kyoto extraordinary costs nothing. Fushimi Inari Taisha, the shrine famous for its thousands of vermilion torii gates climbing a forested mountain, is completely free. You walk in, hike as far up Mount Inari as your legs allow, and the views from the upper trails are outstanding and often empty of crowds. Arrive before 8 a.m. and the lower gates have a quiet, almost meditative quality that the midday tourist crush completely erases. Arashiyama Bamboo Grove is free. The 60-foot walls of bamboo from every Japan travel poster are yours to walk through without spending a yen. Go early for the light filtering through the stalks. Stay later, and you are fighting for the same shot as 300 other people. The Philosopher's Path, a 2-kilometer canal-side walkway through Kyoto's northeast hills, is free. Gion, the geisha district, is free to walk through in the evening. You may catch a glimpse of a maiko heading to an appointment. No entry fee for that. Not every temple in Kyoto justifies its admission price. Some charge 500 to 1,000 yen for interiors that add little to what the free surrounding paths already offer. Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion, costs 500 yen and is worth it. Others are debatable. A quick check before handing over your money will save you several thousand yen across the trip. For food, Nishiki Market is essential. A 400-year-old covered arcade known as Kyoto's Kitchen, it runs 390 meters and holds over 130 stalls, selling pickled vegetables, fresh tofu skin, matcha sweets, and small bites. Most items cost between 100 and 800 yen. A full walkthrough costs around 2,000 to 4,000 yen and serves simultaneously as lunch and as one of the best cultural experiences on the route. Kyoto's traditional restaurants offer significantly cheaper set lunch menus than their evening equivalents. Same kitchen, same quality, just earlier. If you want the sit-down Kyoto experience without the dinner price jump, book lunch. And remember, you're sleeping in Osaka. $4 each way in the express train. Do not pay Kyoto hotel prices if you don't have to. Osaka. Eat everything. If Tokyo is the city that looks expensive but is not, Osaka is the city that never pretended to be expensive in the first place. Osaka is louder than Kyoto, more extroverted than Tokyo, and built around a food culture unlike anywhere else on the route. Locals have a saying, kui daore, which translates roughly as eat until you drop. The city takes that seriously, and the prices at which it feeds you reflect that philosophy entirely. The free things first. Dotonbori, Osaka's main entertainment district, is free to walk. The neon signs, the giant mechanical crab revolving above the Kani Doraku restaurant, the canal reflecting all of it at night, free. The outer grounds of Osaka Castle are free. The moat path and exterior views are well worth a visit without paying the 600 yen castle interior fee. Shinkansen, the retro neighborhood built in 1912 and still running on its original personality, costs nothing to wander. Now, the food. This is what Osaka is actually for. At Hunke Otako in Dotonbori, one of the oldest takoyaki shops in the district, 6 octopus-filled batter balls come in at 500 yen. Okonomiyaki, the savory layered pancake with your choice of toppings, runs 900 to 1500 yen at a casual restaurant. Kushikatsu, the deep-fried skewers of meat, seafood, and vegetables that Shinkansen specializes in, is one of the best cheap eating experiences in Japan. A full days of eating through Osaka's street food costs roughly 4,000 to 7,000 yen all in. You will still be full at midnight and already planning what you are eating for breakfast. The Osaka Amazing Pass bundles unlimited Osaka Metro travel with free entry to 40 attractions, including Osaka Castle, the Umeda Sky Building Observatory, and a Dotonbori River Cruise. The one-day pass is 3,500 yen, the 2-day is 5,000. Worth it? Osaka Castle is 600 yen, the Umeda Sky Building is 1,500. 2 attractions and a few metro rides and you are already close to breaking even. For a packed sightseeing day, it pays off clearly. For a slow day of wandering Dotonbori and eating kushikatsu in Shinkansen, just use your IC card. The real numbers. 3 tiers. Fast. Shoestring, capsule hotel or hostel at 3,000 to 5,500 yen a night, konbini and street food at 1,500 to 2,000 yen a day, transit and some paid attractions included. Total, 6,000 to 9,000 yen per day. That is $40 to $60 for 3 world-class cities. Comfortable budget business hotel at 6,000 to 9,000 yen a night, casual restaurants and konbini for 2,000 to 3,500 yen a day, transit and some paid attractions included. Total, 10,000 to 15,000 yen per day, roughly $67 to $100. Mid-range, solid private hotel at 10,000 to 15,000 yen a night, sit-down meals freely, premium experiences included. Around 18,000 to 25,000 yen per day, $120 to $165. Here's the broader context worth holding on to. The yen has remained weak relative to the dollar and euro through the mid-2020s, which means Japan's affordability is even more pronounced for international travelers right now. An 800 yen bowl of ramen is better than most $20 plates you'll eat back home. A 500 yen convenience store lunch competes with nearly any budget meal option outside Japan. For a full 10-day Golden Route trip, a traveler who plans transport in advance, uses Osaka as their Kyoto base, and follows the free attraction strategy for each city can land the whole thing comfortably in the $1,500 to $2,000 range, not including flights. The travelers who overspend are the ones who didn't plan transport until they arrived, chose hotels by name recognition instead of value, and never found out about the free observation deck 5 minutes from the most famous train station in the country. You now know differently. Go now. The Golden Route is popular for a reason. 3 entirely different cities, connected by world-class transit, covered in some of the best free experiences anywhere on Earth. Japan rewards the traveler who pays attention over the one who simply pays. If this video helped you, subscribe for more Japan travel content and check the description for the full linked itinerary. Questions about the Golden Route go in the comments. We read every one. Japan is waiting. Go find out why everyone who makes it there ends up wanting to go back.